It's February 2nd, and it is that day where we turn our attention to Puxatawny, Pennsylvania to see what our groundhog friend Phil has to say for the rest of the winter. Typically, about 30,000 people make it out there to see the event, and it's going to be cold out there. Temperatures around 20 degrees, partly cloudy sky. I don't believe the groundhog sees its shadow. We'll see what happens if the groundhog doesn't see its shadow. That's 6 more weeks of winter. You can check out our Across the Sky podcast. Our latest episode is about Groundhog Day with Joe Martucci, Chief Meteorologist at WTAJ in Altoona, Pennsylvania. He is front and center on the stage year in and year out for nearly 20 years, and we hear from him all about the holiday. All right, let's take a look at what's happening here. This is what the latest information is about January in South Jersey. Way above average. In fact, warmer than an average March here. We only had a trace of snow throughout the month of January. That ties us with a couple of years for the least snowiest January on record. What I think is most impressive, in Atlantic City, it was warmer than 3 different Aprils. 1874, 1875, and 1907. So we haven't had that cold of an April in a long time, but that was really, really impressive warmth that we had in the month of January. In fact, just a handful of days were below average here. And when they were, it wasn't by much. It was only by 1, 2, or 3 degrees. We were above average in the rainfall department here. A good number of days saw rain, and that is good news as we go into February here. Remember, late February actually starts our wildfire season in the Pine Barrens. Biggest story as we go over the next couple of days will be our brief but potent shot of cold air that comes on down from Canada as we go forward into Friday and Friday night. That's the peak of the cold. Saturday will be plenty cold as well, and then it rebounds as we go into Sunday as that cold retreats to the north. This is what our future cast looks like. For our Groundhog Day, it's going to be pretty typical to start. 30 to 35 degrees around 7 a.m. We get up to around 40 degrees with we'll call it a filtered sunshine kind of day. We'll have a blanket of high clouds overhead that filters out some of the sun. Then we go overnight here, some cloud cover around. We actually get the Arctic front to pass Friday morning, right during that morning commute, and watch temperatures fall as the day goes on. We will be in the teens by sunset here. Wind chills are going to be colder than that. We'll show you that in just a second. But we are clear as we go into Friday night and into Saturday. Could even see lake effect flurries. In this case, we call them Delaware Bay effect flurries here as a very cold air mass goes over a relatively warmer air mass. That's why you see those clouds near Cape May. We'll see if we can squeeze out a couple of flurries. Otherwise, it's just going to be a cold Saturday ahead. Now, here's a look at those wind chills as we go forward into our weekend here. So this is 7 a.m. Friday. Not that bad yet, but look at that cold up in the northern part of New England and into Canada here. Way below zero. Negative 36 in Burlington on Friday evening. And then Saturday morning, how about negative 60 in Caribou, Maine? I can't even comprehend that. Atlantic City should be negative 2. That's cold enough. And then during the day here, wind chills no better than 15 degrees or so. And of course, the further north you go, much colder here throughout the day. We'll go with very cold on the emoji cast for our Saturday morning wind chills. For your Thursday, we'll be talking about high temperatures again in the low 40s. That's seasonable for this time of the year. We'll have a filtered sunshine kind of look to the skies as we go into our day. Thursday night, pretty typical night for us here. 29 in Estelle Manor in the inland towns. 32 over in Margate in the shore. We'll take a look at our inland 7-day forecast, show you what's going on there. 32 on Friday, 27 for our high on Saturday. That is it. And a Friday night low of 11. Now we rebound pretty quickly. By Sunday, we're 47 degrees with a breezy southwesterly wind. Storm system should stay to our south and leave us dry. So we're trending drier in that aspect. And then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, temperatures at or above average. And we do look to be above average for most of our February. You can check out our Across the Sky podcast on pressafac.com/weather or wherever you get your podcast.